Happy Monday! How are you doing? I hope you had a wonderful weekend and you're feeling well this morning. I am just getting back from vacation, so I was not here last week. So I am grateful to be back. Thank you so much for welcoming me in this space. Say hello if you're here. Say hello if you're here on the replay by just typing hashtag replay. I'm just going to keep my phone open here because I never know if comments are going to be showing up on Facebook. So just going to keep my eyes peeled on that as well. My name is Laura Mazzotta. I'm an Akashic therapist. That means I've been a therapist for almost 20 years in private practice, and I'm also an Akashic healer. My mission is truly to assist people with healing as deeply and profoundly and enduringly as possible. So I help people do that, and I also guide them beautifully into their own spiritual entrepreneurial businesses as well. So I love being able to connect with people at all layers and to be able to follow somebody through their whole journey. You know, from the time that they come in and they say, oh my gosh, I'm like so anxious, or I am doubting myself, or I'm confused, or whatever is going on. And then they find themselves and they're able to realize how much potential they have and how much passion they have within them and how they can forward that. So, and then we do that, right? We build that momentum and we forward that momentum so that people can really achieve what they didn't even know was possible. And it's so cool to be able to see that awakening happen in people. So I am here today to talk to you guys about why you're not getting results in your coaching container. So this is something that could have happened in the past for you, or if it could be something that's occurring right now. And I also think it's really important for you to listen to this from two perspectives. One of these perspectives is, okay, why am I not getting results in my coaching container? Me being the client, and my coach being the coach, right? But I also want you to look at this from the other side, you being the coach and your clients being the ones who may feel that they're not getting what they want from their coaching container. So it's important to really receive this information from both perspectives because you're going to get different answers and you're going to get something different out of it depending on which perspective you choose in the moment. So you can watch this a couple times if that's helpful, just to be able to really sink into the messages for wherever you happen to be in your mindset and how you're approaching this live, okay? So why you're not getting results in your coaching container. So one of the main issues that occurs when people are not getting results is because they didn't go in with a clear intention, right? They didn't go in really knowing exactly what it is they needed. They just felt like, I want to be saved. Like, I want to be helped. I don't know what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. And you enter with this desperate energy and you enter with this idea of, I need help because I can't do it by myself, right? And so when you enter a coaching container with that mentality, you're not going to be as successful. You want to be able to not enter a coaching container when you feel desperate, because that's when you feel desperate, you're waiting to be saved. And when you're waiting to be saved, first of all, there's a big part of you that really does want to be saved that you need to provide yourself. Any opportunity that is going to be given to you from outside of yourself, whether it's reading a book, whether it's watching a training, whether it's working with a coach, is not going to give you long-lasting results in this area because you're going into it with a, oh my gosh, I need somebody help me, right? And you're going into it with this desperate energy. And when we go into things with desperate energy, we're also going to receive that in return. It's just like people talk about with the concept of money, right? And if you have issues with money, if you have anxieties around money or doubts or a relationship with money that is not grounded and solid and confident and at ease, then if you don't resolve those things, but you keep bringing in more money by doing, going, those problems are just going to get bigger. They're just going to get magnified, right? So you need to manage those things before you get to your next level. So the same idea applies when you are hiring a coach or when you're in a coaching container. You want to be able to really get yourself into a space where you know exactly what it is you're looking for with as much specificity as you can get, okay? So this could be, all right, I'm specifically needing somebody to help me with my social media because I'm having trouble getting the aligned clients to come in with me, right? Okay, perfect, great. So now you know the outcome that you're looking for. Now that's a more strategy-based outcome, okay? That's a more strategy-based outcome. And to be honest, you can get strategy information from pretty much anywhere. On YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. People are doing free trainings all the time There's videos out there for pretty much any business strategy you can imagine. And to be perfectly honest with you, you can watch the way that other coaches do it, right? You can watch the way that other coaches do it. You can sign up for their free stuff so that you're like, okay, this is how they did it. They put this link out there. They had a landing page. This is the information that really sold me. This is what it looks like that it was aesthetically pleasing, right? And it was outlined in a way that really drew me in, because you're your own best client. And so when you see what other coaches are doing, you can then take pointers, write those things down, be like, oh, I really like the way this person does that. I'm going to jot that down, and I'm going to adopt the things that feel really good for me. Okay. So strategy is something you can find anywhere, right? The issue is implementation. The issue is accountability. The issue is what feels right for you. And you're not going to know what feels right for you if you don't know you, right? If you don't know yourself that well. And so I really strongly encourage people to hire coaches that support you personally. Yes, you can hire coaches that also assist you with business strategy and things like that. And that's going to give you something, especially if you buy programs or, courses and you learn strategy and things like that, right? But most importantly, you want to make sure that you are being supported, that your mindset is continually reset by this coach, that your confidence you're gaining in confidence, it's increasing, because your coach is going to have and hold space for greater growth and potential than you can see at the time, because they've been there, done that, right? They've been through that phase. They've been to the point where they're like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't feel super confident. But then they've been able to get through that and get to the point where they're like, oh my gosh, wow, mind blown. Look at all of this success. Look at everything that's unfolding. Look how confident I am. Look at all these people that are coming into my world, right? And so they're there to hold that vision for you and remind you of your vision. So that accountability is very, very helpful. And that redirection, when we get lost in what I call lost in the human sauce, right? Kind of lost in our doubt and our questioning and our anxieties and our fears, because that's just the reality of being an entrepreneur, right? It's part of it that as we get further and further as entrepreneurs, yes, those fears diminish, but they don't entirely go away, because if you really truly have this multi-passionate entrepreneurial heart, you're always like learning and stepping into the unknown and learning the next thing and pushing the envelope a little bit. And it's exciting, but it's also a little bit scary. And that's when we make the most change, okay? And so to build your confidence to that point, you really need somebody who's going to be able to just hold you, just hold space for you and be a reflection of what's coming forward for you. And that's the other piece here that's really important to drive home, is that when you... Sorry, my kids have their cousins over and they're screaming and they distracted me in the background. But so when you hire somebody and you don't have the mindset that I'm the owner of my business, I am the CEO of my company, and you don't adopt that, then what you're going to do is be much more likely to take on what your coach is telling you to do. Right? And be like, okay, great. Well, she's really successful and she does this, that, or the other. And so that's exactly what I need to do for me. And that's what's going to make me successful, rather than being like, oh, okay, that's an interesting perspective. It's basically just another person to brainstorm with, right? Somebody who has a little bit more experience in the industry than you, somebody who may be a step ahead in terms of income or in terms of programming or in terms of whatever strategy it is that you are looking for. But never hire a coach just based on strategy. Never. Because listen, you may hire somebody because you do like their strategy, but you also want to make sure that you're not hiring out of desperation and I need somebody to tell me what to do so that you can follow a formula. Because I promise you, it might work in the short term, but it's not going to work in the long term. And that's okay. You can hire somebody and you can have a successful coaching container and not continue implementing those things going forward, right? Because really, the coaching container is about getting you to the next step quicker, okay? You can get there by yourself. It's just going to take you a lot longer if you don't hire somebody. And you don't have to. And like, I'm at the point now where I'm starting to really pull back from signing up for as many things. I haven't been in that space for a few months now, and it's so nice because I'm finally at that point where I feel really, really confident that the strategies, I know everything that I need to know about strategy. And I have a beautiful team that works with me as well that is educated on social media, educated on website development, those kinds of things. So I actually think that when you get to a certain point, it's important for you to also identify, okay, who do I have on my team, or who do I need to hire that has the expertise that I'm looking for? I don't necessarily need to pay a coach for that, but I can pay somebody on my team for that. So I have that ongoing support. And it's not something that I necessarily have to learn how to do with all the nitty-gritty details, right? Like I can get a general understanding, and I encourage you to get a general understanding because again, you're the CEO of your business and you want to be the master of that space, right? You want to at least have your toe in the different buckets so that you really understand how your business is operating and what works and what doesn't work, okay? So I don't want you to be so hands off that you're just handing things to people and not getting involved at all. There needs to be communication in there for sure, okay? But what I see is that a lot of people end up actually shrinking in their power when they hire a coach because they feel like this person is above them, right? Or this person is better than them, or this person knows more than they do. That's total BS. That's just your own, honestly, your mindset, the way you're seeing things in a distorted way because you're not allowing yourself to stand fully in your power. You know, it's interesting because I remember when I first hired my coach that I'm just finishing up with now, and she's amazing. And for the longest time, I'd say the first year at least that we were working together, I really felt like she was so much smarter than me and so much better than me. And, you know, it really shows how much progress I've made in that container as well, right? I mean, I've obviously invested in other things like in masterminds and things like that. But with her, it was, you know, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, dude, I got this. I am so fucking badass. Like, I've got this, you know? And the thing is, if I don't have it, I have a team that I can ask if they're strategic questions that I have. And or for me, you know, I am a spiritual entrepreneur, so I'm tapped into the Akashic Records, and I'm just asking my higher self, I'm asking spirit all the time to be bringing me what it is I need in that moment. And I have the spiritual team that is really offering me guidance that's in alignment with my energy at the time, you know, not just what I think I should do to be able to get the clients, but so I've grown a lot in that container. But what I realized is that you know, I was giving her my power in a way that it felt like, okay, well, she's the boss, kind of like this hierarchical perspective, you know, like, well, she's the boss and I'm paying her. And so she's telling me what to do. And I need to do what she told me to do because I invested in this. And if I invested in this and I want to get results out of it, I need to follow what she says rather than, you know, well, oh, that's cool. Interesting. All right. I'm going to take that with me. I'm going to put it on the table. I'm going to meditate on that. I'm going to integrate it with where I am right now and how it feels with my energy to not only embody it and interact with it now, but to kind of follow it through, right? Like if I follow that through and envision myself actually carrying that out, how is that going to feel for me? And what is that going to do for my business and for myself, right? And so, so that's where I found the most success is not it. I have been part of so many coaching experiences that are very, you know, they offer me a lot of data and a lot of information, but it can also feel really overwhelming. And for me, it ends up feeling like I get triggered into that perfectionistic, people-pleasing type A, previous version, I should say. I was trying to find the word there. Previous version of who I was. And that's not who I am anymore. It's really not who I am anymore. But there are times that I can feel that tug. And so the more that I invest in strategy, the more I become that go, 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 I got to do. And it takes me away from my true purpose. And it takes me away from really who I am and how I grow best. And so I find that it's really helpful to be able to maybe take a course or two, maybe read some books, watch some videos online about strategy, and then really work with somebody, even if they do have some strategy to offer you, who has the space and the connection with you, and the patience and the opportunity to really sit with and understand who you are as a person and how you tick, okay? Because they're going to then know, all right, so when a challenge comes to her way, this is how she responds, and this seems to be habitual, and that is really sabotaging her next steps, right? So it's really understanding the inner workings of not only your psyche, but your energy, your heart, your drive, and all of that. Because when it comes to entrepreneurial work, what do we deal with? We deal with burnout, we deal with motivation issues, we deal with focus, right? With structuring ourselves, because we're self-starters, but we're also have to be self-organizers, unless you're me. And then I rely on my team for that as well. I do some, don't get me wrong. Some people, like, honestly, most people look at me and they're like, you are like the perfect mix of, like, intuitive and kind of going with the flow and getting shit done. And I'm glad that it looks that way. It doesn't always feel that way for me, because I am multi-passionate. I have so many ideas, and that can feel overwhelming at times, and it can feel scattered. But it's also just being able to find a structure around that as well. And we've talked about that in previous lives around this. So anyway, so this is the information that I really wanted to share with you regarding why you're not getting results in your coaching container, because you're giving your power away. You're focusing too much on seeking strategy rather than just seeking support and shift and change of you as your foundation. You are the fabric of your business. You're interwoven within the fabric of your business. And so you can't separate the two entirely, right? And so you need to create this foundation for yourself within yourself that is going to encourage that consistency and sustainability for yourself, okay? In a way that feels really good for you, all right? And not just what the coach is telling you to do, all right? And the other important piece here too is, please don't blame your coaches for this, because I mean, every coach that I've ever worked with has been great. Honestly, they've been great. It's my decision to give my power away. It's my decision to say, I'm going to shrink and I'm going to allow you to be in the driver's seat, rather than I am in the driver's seat of my coaching relationship. We are co-creating together, but I am entering each session saying, this is what I desire to take away from this session today. This is what I desire to embody over the next week, over the next 2 weeks, over the next month, right? And for me, I find that it is much more productive for me to set personal goals for myself than to set business goals or financial goals for myself. Obviously, and I think part of that is just because I'm automatically going to be creating financial goals. I'm automatically going to be creating business goals, because I know what's coming forward. I know what the Akashic Records are telling me the world needs. So like that I'm so confident about. Like, I don't really need to think about that or plan it too much. It's planned for me. And so for me, it's really about being able to stabilize and solidify that confidence, that motivation, that drive, that consistency, and have that accountability for myself. And so it's being able to say, what do I wish to claim? What do I wish to claim for myself, so that I can show up as the entrepreneur that I desire to be. And sometimes, and this is something that is really important that I'll leave you with here today, is that you just need to decide. You need to decide who you're showing up as. You need to decide what you want to show up for. And so coaching can help. A coaching relationship can help with identifying the real clarity, really, on what you choose to decide, what you're going to claim. And say, yes, I know with clarity that I am claiming this, and this is what I'm moving forward on. The how, the blah, 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 the why, all of that. None of that is necessary to receive from a coach, because you can learn it anywhere else. It's helpful. It can be helpful. But again, make sure that you have that relationship with the person where they are able to be like, absolutely, like, that's cool. Like, I never thought about doing it that way. Yeah, let's tweak this and make it yours. Because that's how you come up with these landmark strategies of, this is the new way of doing things, right? This is the new way of doing this. This is the new way of doing that. And you come up with your own modality or your own approach or your own protocol or your own launch strategy that you can then teach others. right? So it's amazing how much you can grow when you don't allow yourself to get stuck in that box of save me, save me, save me, or getting stuck in strategy. So please let me know if you're here on the replay by posting hashtag replay in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions. Please tag me if you have questions or comments, and I'm happy to respond to you and to engage with you. And for those of you who would like more additional support around this, please feel free to reach out to me, because I just created a mental health mastermind called Climb. Hi, Darlene. So good to see you. So I just created a mental health mastermind called Climb. And this is really for people who have been dealing with chronic patterns of, let's say, guilt, anxiety, depression, anything coming forward for you that's interfering with your momentum, that's interfering with your motivation. And what we're doing here is we're going to be meeting for group coaching calls. We're going to be meeting for one-on-one calls. We're going to be having an ongoing WhatsApp chat. Right now, this is on early bird, and it's $33.33 for 3 months. This is really for somebody who is wildly interested in kicking it for good. When I talk about deciding, this is you deciding, I am done with this pattern. I am done with this obstacle or this block or whatever it happens to be that is interfering with my momentum. This is not for somebody who is not ready to implement change right away. This is going to be a rapid program that's going to offer you rapid change in whatever your mental health goals are. So if you are at a place where your mental health is interfering significantly with your motivation, then I would encourage therapy first, and then this program would be for you. But this is going to be for the person who is super motivated, super willing to hear that direct feedback about this is the issue. I can see it right away because I can call that stuff out immediately. This is exactly what's going on, and this is what you need to do to shift it. And that you're willing and able to start implementing those things immediately. And I guarantee you, you will find results. So there is going to be a very selective process in bringing people into this program. Only 5 people. I'm only offering space for 5 people because I want this to be intimate, and I really want people to get results, and I want people to be successful. So I'm offering free 15-minute phone calls right now to anyone who has a serious interest in this. And you can send me a message anytime, either through email or through, thank you, Cassidy, for sharing the link. You can click on that post and you can read all about it. It'll give you all of the details that you need to know. And then you can just reach out to me over Messenger or over email at emergehealingandwellness@gmail.com. And I'm happy to support you. All right. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon.